What does advocacy mean to me? Advocacy to me means a lot of things. It means self-education. It means self-reflection. It means using the power and privilege that I hold to stand up against dominant groups that cause harm. It means using my own voice to elevate and amplify the voices of others who need to be heard. And more than anything, I think advocacy to me means not just standing up for others, but also standing with them.
Advocacy to me is just being a resource and being an ally and showing that you care in any way that you can.
Advocacy means to me helping people to help with my own trauma that I faced. I had to go through the Title IX program at NIU, and it was a difficult process, and I had to do a lot of it alone, and I don't want anybody to have to suffer through that by themselves. So being an advocate to me means helping out those people who maybe were alone like I was, but don't have to be, because I can help.
To me, being a woman in advocacy can take many forms, whether it be in politics, whether it be in a classroom, stepping up and saying something when you see something as wrong, whether it be standing up for your friend in a party and then going beyond that to try to push policy change. Being a woman in advocacy to me means not only just setting an example, but also furthering the distance that women in advocacy can go. So advocacy for me can be programming that I do, or it can be me speaking up on an issue. But advocacy for someone else can be really just raising your hand in class or just having a conversation with someone next to you. So being a woman in advocacy is honestly multimodal.
Being a woman in advocacy means a lot of things to me. And one of the things that really comes through the most when I think about that question is what an opportunity and privilege it is to be in a place where I get to think about ways to make NIU better, ways to continue on the path that's been paved for me as a woman in advocacy. And so it's a large responsibility to continue to do better, continue to do more, to continue to think of people who haven't been previously included, and to ensure that there's as many seats at the table as there can be. And also realizing that my voice doesn't always have to be the loudest, but it needs to be consistent.
What's most challenging about being a woman in advocacy is balancing the pushback between how hard do you push and advocate for the issue of concern, and how do you balance your own mental, emotional, and physical health in the process. A lot of our time and our thought is put into advocating for the issue. If nothing else, I've learned that we have to sustain ourselves in this work, and that it is not our job to feel like we need to save everything and all, but the question is what is our contribution going to be? What is our contribution going to be? How are we going to curate that and help push it? And then, this is really important, how are we going to look at who got next?
Something I find really rewarding about being a woman in advocacy is meeting other women who are also passionate about being part of solutions to change our world. Sometimes because these problems in society are really heavy, it can feel tiring and draining, but just to meet other people who have that same enthusiasm and who care and are really willing to work through those changes with you is really rewarding.
What is most rewarding about working in advocacy is the privilege of getting to hear stories from people who have gone through things. I think it is an absolute privilege to share that space with somebody, and to then go forward with them throughout their story is so rewarding, and I cherish that moment every time that moment pops up.
I think it's really important for women to also advocate for themselves, and that can help prevent burnout. A lot of the times when women are advocating, they might not always be supported in doing so because of different stereotypes or barriers that are put in place. But I think that remembering why you want to be an advocate and remembering what's important to you and why you started will help motivate you to continue.